Finally, an Underhood light from DeWalt. We'll take a closer look in a moment. I'm Tim Johnson. You're watching Shop Tool Reviews. This is the DeWalt DCL045B. B stands for bare tool. Anyway, it's their Underhood light up to 1700 lumens bright. We're very excited to get our hands on this. When we first heard about it, I don't know, a month or so ago, we thought, you know what, this is great for DeWalt because until now, you could find things on the Mac side of Stanley Black & Decker, but nothing from DeWalt, so I'm sure mechanics are rejoicing now. Let's dive right in. Let's take a closer look at the different features on this, as well as the fact that it runs on 2 voltages. This is something that mechanics have been waiting on for quite a long time from DeWalt, and that is a cordless LED Underhood shop light or Underhood light. So this will mount under the hood of a car and really several other places that we find great uses for it. And with the configuration they have here, maybe even more uses for it. Now the cool thing about this right off the bat, by the way, this is the DCL045, actually the DCL045B, which is bare tool. At this point, that's the only way you can get this. We haven't seen it in a kit price yet or in a kit scenario. So this is just the DCL045B for bare tool. The cool thing about this is it's not only a 20 volt light and it's not only a 12 volt light. It is a 20 volt or a 12 volt light. So you can see here, we slide on the 20 volt light or 20 volt battery and it works. We can also pull that, slide on the 12 volt battery, and voila, works there as well. So really cool idea, so that whether you're on the 12 volt platform or whether you're on the 20 volt platform with DeWalt, you can still buy this light and you've got batteries for it, or as in our case where we have some 12 and some 20s, whatever battery is handy, you can run it on that light and get this full, by the way, 1700 lumens. Now, that is with both lights on and on high. That answers another question, and that is we have 2 buttons here. One of these is a power button. Oh, we need a battery in there, so let's stick a battery in there. So we have a power button. Now that's going to power on the light. If we hit the power button again, that's going to give us our highs and lows. So on high, on low, and off. So high, low, off. So basically you have 3 modes. You have off, you have high, and you have low. I don't know how many more times I can say that, but I'll just show you one more time. There's the high, there's the low, and there's off. Pretty easy, right? We also have a left, right, and both button. So as you can see here, we have 2 sides of this, and we'll unfold it here in a moment. Now, if we turn this on, both of these are on, and they're on high. Hit it again, we're on low. But if I hit this button here, now that turns one side off, and I've just got this side on. Hit it again, turns this side on, turns this side off. Hit it one more time, and now both are on. So again, we can cycle through one side or the other or both. So we have a power and mode button as well as a left, right, and both button. Pretty easy to figure that out, obviously, and I like it that we've got 2 different buttons to control all that. It'll be pretty easy to remember what to do there, especially with your power button. That's going to control your power, and this is just going to control the area of the light that you want on, which basically allows you to not only use this as an Underhood light, but you could hang this, shine light to one side, shine light to both sides, or what have you. Now, as far as size of this as is, so folded up, you're looking at right at 26 inches, dead on 26 inches. Now, unfold it. So, by the way, all you have to do is pull this apart. So it's kind of got a locking mechanism right here. There's a little metal piece there, looks like stainless steel. And then there's a little tab right there that locks it together. And also you have some kind of some detents down in here. You can see little teeth in there with these kind of plastic ends right against it. So they'll kind of hold into certain areas and kind of index in an area where you can turn it in a 90 like we have it here. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but still it'll kind of hold its position at these different angles. And it looks like there's 1, 2, 3. So it looks like 3 different on each side. So probably up to like 6 positions. But anyway, folded all the way out or extended all the way out. I believe it's like 51 inches. Yep, a little over 51 inches all the way out. But then it's going to extend even further and you see the aluminum track that comes out of here, and that's going to give us up to 74 inches of total width to spread across the hood, and that's going to easily give you the full-size truck hood, be able to stretch across that full-size truck. These hooks on the end, not only do they rotate, but they are padded with, and this is not like a foam. A lot of these, you'll see cheaper makes of these. This is like a foam rubber where it will deteriorate or kind of tear over time very easily. This is more of a denser rubber here on the end that should hold up really, really well, a lot better than just the foam rubber. And by the way, this turns all the way around 360 degrees. They have little index positions or detent positions every few degrees, it looks like. So it looks like 4 or 5 for each quarter turn or each 90 degrees. So pretty cool there that, again, you get those detents as well as being able to swivel that wherever you want to. Also love to see that that's not a plastic track there. There's a nice aluminum spring-loaded track within there and aluminum body here, so that's going to last for us. Now let's fold this up and let's get a weight on it. I think I've got a 4 amp hour battery in there. I do. We'll weigh it with that 20 volt battery, and you're looking at 6 pounds, 14.5 ounces. So 6 3/4 pounds on this, near 7 pounds. Not a big deal. This is not a tool that you carry all the time. It's not a light that you carry. It's a light you're going to put somewhere and kind of be done with it. So weight shouldn't be a big issue. You may be able to save a little bit with a 12 volt battery. I've got a 5 amp hour, so I'm sure you could go lighter on that. So looks like we save about a half a pound by going to the 12 volt 5 amp hour versus the 4 amp hour 20 volt. But again, I don't think you're looking at a tool like this and worried about weight savings. You're probably more worried about runtime, which, by the way, DeWalt gives us nothing on runtime. We'll do some full runtime testing on some 4 amp hour, 5 amp hour, 20 volt batteries, as well as do like probably a 2 amp hour and a 5 amp hour on the 12 volt. We'll release those in the description later once we get done with those. But we wanted to get this out to you rather quickly, and we haven't finished our runtime testing on all those yet, because we also wanted to do it with each side burning in high and low as well to give you a better perception of how long this is going to run. I will tell you, when it's getting to LED lights now, typically, a battery or two will definitely last you the day, typically on running these lights like this, and then you can throw them in the charger and should be sufficient. But again, we will follow up with run times. I do want to mention one thing here. I wanted to look at seeing how DeWalt handled the 20 volt and the 12 volt battery both on the same tool. And as far as electronically, obviously it's understanding that and being able to automatically switch or what have you. That's not my concern. There is a concern here that potentially could be something, but may never be anything. But I just wanted to mention it. So we've got this little guy in here that kind of flips up and down. And I looked at that and thought, okay, I see now how this is happening, how they're accepting the 12 volt and 20 volt battery. Because not only do you have to take into account the voltage, you've got to take into account the rail slides, as well as the size of the battery, how it locks, and everything else. So what happens here is this little flapper here lays out of the way for a 12 volt battery. So this little locks right here into this big piece of plastic that's molded into the body. So as it slides in, it pushes that flap down, as you can see right there. So now that's pushed down and can't come up, and that 12 volt is locked in to this little lock right here. As I mentioned, this lock is locked into that. Now, what happens when you put in a 20 volt battery, and that is the rails on the 20 volt then push down on this guy, pushing this flapper up, and that is what locks onto the lock of the 20 volt tool. It's kind of hard to see once I slide it in, but now it's locked in, and you can see that little flapper in there is now pushed up, and that's what we're locked onto. So my concern would be, over time, something may happen to this. If that does happen, your 12 volts will work just fine, but your 20 volts will have trouble actually locking in. Again, that may be absolutely nothing, but just looking this over, it did catch my eye, and I thought, you know what, I've got to mention something. And again, I'm not trying to trash this at all. I love the light so far. I'm just telling you that is something that could potentially go wrong, and there may be a fix for it then, or again, there may not ever be a problem. Let's go use this. All right, so we've got our DeWalt DCL045, and we've got it folded up. So we can unfold this, and the first thing we're gonna have to do is obviously turn our hooks, because we don't want it hooked up like this. We have no light shining down. So we turn our hooks. And now we've got it extended, and we can turn this either way and hook it onto our vehicle. I'm going to try to do this from one side here. No problem whatsoever. That's a full-size hood. Turn our power on, and then we can turn the light. We can also, as we were mentioning, one side on or the other, or both. And we also can slide this one way or the other. If we're not maximizing the expansion of it, we can slide this to one side or the other. Looks like we're casting very good light. That's our low setting. So that's our low. There's high. There we have high. There we have high. And there we have low. One thing I was curious about was, would we see any dead spot from the dead spot without any LED cobs right here in the middle of the light? So you see we have LEDs here, we have LEDs here, but obviously nothing here. And I really don't see at all a dead spot. You see there's no shadow whatsoever as I'm going. So it's doing a great job with the cone effect of actually dispersing that light from here and covering this area where there are no LEDs. So really don't have a problem there. And even all the way out here, starting to get shadow about right here and about right here. So we're covering the engine bay with that light. And by the way, we've got light intrusion from the shop right now, but still you can tell where you're getting light coverage and where you're not, and it is doing a good job of dispersing that. Now I also checked other underhood lights to see, you know what, do we have enough spread as far as how much spread do we usually have in LEDs of other shop lights? And I measured, and it's less than what we have here with the DeWalt as far as the furthest. This is about 29 inches. Others are somewhere between 26 and 28 inches, depending on which ones you're measuring, even some less than that. So again, we're covering that. We got 1,700 lumens of light. Not sure what low is giving us. I would imagine somewhere around half. And then we'll also get back with the run times on this as well. Well, we're not surprised. We love the light. We knew that coming out of the gate, that unless they just majorly mess something up, we were going to love this light. I will tell you, this is the first two-piece, I shouldn't say two-piece, but kind of bend in the center, flexible light that we have liked, because most of them are pretty hokey when it comes to that, and they break easily, and we haven't liked those foldable lights before. But DeWalt's done a good job of tightening this up and making it to where it looks like it's robust enough to be able to handle, putting it on and off car hoods or wherever else you may use it. And that's the cool thing about it, is if you fold this up, as I said, it's kind of tough to bend up, which is good. You could definitely hang this places and shine light on areas other than just under a hood. These also work really well on interiors as well. So open both doors of the truck or of the car and hang this from the inside. Detailers, they work really well for, or if you're just doing work on the inside, but you can cast light on there as well. Recognizing that little, I call it a flapper valve, whatever that is, in there to be able to handle that 12 and 20 volt battery, that may never be a problem, but I did want to just mention that for you. Again, we'll follow up with run times in the description. We may even come back with a shorter video and just talk about run times, but we're working on compiling all that right now. As far as lumens and light casting and everything else, this does a great job at that. The hooks are built well as have a nice soft coating, but at the same time, it's a heavy rubber, if you will, and not something foam that's going to tear very easily. Price on this is $179 for the bare tool. As we mentioned at this time, there's really not a kit option yet, so you're looking at $179 for no battery or charger. 3-year warranty on this. What's our thoughts on it? Here's the deal. Lights are a necessity. Whether you're working on cars, working on houses, it doesn't matter what type of trade you're in. Even as a homeowner, you need light. We need light everywhere. So These tool companies expanding their LED lights is a great thing, especially when it comes to something that's special like this, where it can be used as a very specialty, under hood light item or as other things as well. So if you're already on the DeWalt platform, this is a great buy for you, especially the fact that it doesn't matter whether you're on their 12-volt platform or their 20-volt platform, you can use both those batteries. So great job on DeWalt on making this kind of dual voltage compatible. If you're on another platform and you want to buy into this, it's going to cost you a little more money because you're going to have to buy some batteries and chargers as well. It will be a great light for you. Again, very handy and works across whether you're talking about a small compact car or a full-size truck. It's going to work for you. Be sure to check it out. Again, it's the DeWalt DCL045B, and it's their underhood light from 51 inches all the way up to 74 inches. Also keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you don't mind, would you hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already? And as always, if you hated our video, give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.